Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Force here. It is time for some more SC2 commentary. Today it will be a series. Why am I looking at the APM? Series between ProdiGY and Acer Elfi. We're on the map Shakuras Plateau, spawning in the upper right-hand spawn location. Our red Protoss player is Acer's Elfi. And then down over here in the lower right-hand position, our blue Terran player is ProdiGY. Now, I don't have my typical player information that I've been trying to do at the start of all the games. I could find information on Elfi. He is a Grandmaster's player on the European ladder. Problem was, I couldn't find anything at all for ProdiGY. Now, I know there is a team of ProdiGY Gaming, so I am just making the assumption that this account is a team account, and, you know, various players of Team ProdiGY happen to play on it. I could be wrong though, so please feel free to inform me. I'm assuming, however, that since Acer Elfi is a Grandmaster, that whoever is playing this account, or if ProdiGY is just the sole owner, that he is either Masters or Grandmasters as well, because there's no reason that you would ever play anyone other than that when you are a Grandmaster player. So Elfi drops his first pylon, moves out with that scouting probe. He is checking the upper left-hand spawn location. We're going to see that additional, the initial standard build order with the gateway. We should be seeing that assimilator come on over here, another pylon, and then the Cybernetics core, all that very standard stuff. Back over here for ProdiGY. We'll be coming out with that wall off, keeping an eye on these Vespene geysers. Want to see if he goes to refinery early on. But he is coming out with that wall off. Now he's going to have to deal with a little bit of harass here early on from the probe as he moves on up. And why not take that harass? I mean, you might as well. It's there for the take-in free. It's like a free buffet. Get a few free shots off on the SCV. Another SCV comes down to engage. Elfi turns around, it does a little bit of damage, and then pulls back right before his shield drops. And that's kind of what you want to do if you're going to try to do some early game probe harass as a Protoss player. An SCV now has more HP than a probe does, but the SCV does not regenerate health at all, like a probe is able to regenerate his shield. And also, of course, the drones can regenerate health as well. Trapping him in, though, landing that second supply depot right at that frontal wall off, so the Marine is going to get that free kill. Now, Elfi may try to steal a gas there, but actually no reason to. He knows what's coming up. With no refinery here, ProdiGY will be going for a quick expansion. There's no question about that. So Elfi now instead just trying to do a little bit of harass. You see how many SCVs we have yellow right now, 4 of them on that main resource line. So just soften them up a little bit. Maybe he'll do a Zealot Bomb later on, and those weakened up SCVs will die a little bit quicker. Probe does get taken out there, thanks to the Marine. We have 2 Marines in play, another one coming out. There's that expansion as expected without that refinery. SCV Scout that moved into the main of Elfi spotted pretty much the standard. Now, he's going to be, look at this, trying to delay the expansion, coming out with an engineering bay. I expect him not to finish this, pull off just, there you go. I mean, he could have done a little bit more, but sometimes you'll build a little bit more and then pull off so that it's got more HP. If you continue to build it, it gets more and more of its life. But he decided to pull off really early, probably because he was expecting that Stalker soon and wanted to get out of there before that Stalker could get the SCV kill. But nevertheless, ProdiGY is delaying the expansion. You can see right now, Elfi would like to drop an expansion. Since this is happening, he came out with another Stalker instead, but you expect him to want to do that. There's the cancel of the NG Bay, and now finally Elfi is comfortable enough to go ahead and drop that Nexus at the natural expansion. Not even a matter of comfort. He couldn't even do it before. I don't know what I'm talking about. First Stalker is out. Second Stalker also just popped. Might probably be seeing a Sentry unless he decides to go for a third Stalker here. Back over here, we are going to be seeing a bunker at the front. Now, ProdiGY, without any gas, he's just now getting a refinery, is just going to be sticking Marine heavy in the early stage of the game. And so with this, wants to make sure that he gets some bunker, because even a 2 or 3 gate pressure from his opponent with this expansion could be really difficult for him to deal with. Also coming out with a supply depot if he gets pushed out against, and there are Zealots, he wants to make sure the Zealots can't get wrapped right around that bunker. So getting that supply depot is going to assist with that. You can see the Stalker unable to push up against a bunker at the high ground. With that bunker, the Marines get that 1 extra range to be able to shoot the Stalker. They're not at that range disadvantage like they typically are. We've got Stalker guarding the front over here to stop any secondary SCV scouts from pushing in. You can actually see over here that SCV, that's his entire plan. He's going to be attempting to push on in to get a secondary scout. Hopefully for Elfi, that Stalker will be able to prevent that from happening. We do now have a second refinery up. Nothing at the expansion yet with the natural up and getting saturated right now. Even got a couple of mules down over there. We got a little bit of research coming out. It's going to be Stimpack research here from ProdiGY. Now finally starting to transition into Marauders as well. Stalker that was watching the front of the base of ProdiGY decides to pull back. It's probably a good time too, because it's getting to the point where he could just quickly move out with a Marauder or so and take out the Stalker, no problem. Now here comes that secondary scout attempt right now for ProdiGY. He's going to be trying to move on in, and again, there's just way too much guard in the front, really no chance at all, and actually pulls just right on back. Certainly a wise move. Observer moving across the map. We do have a robotics facility in play. Robotics Bay is coming on in as well, so we will be seeing some early on Colossus. Only has 2 gateways out with a 3rd gateway coming through, so really delaying that gateway, additional gateway units to try to get that Colossus very, very early on. Now, Observer Scout in the main is going to realize that there are no medevacs out yet, and he's also going to see the unit composition. You can see Marine Heavy right now for ProdiGY, and that's actually going to bode very well for Elfi, as coming out with that Colossus is certainly very, very strong against a Marine Heavy composition. With only 1 tech lab and 2 of the racks pumping out nothing but Marines, that Colossus has a chance to do a lot of damage. Now we're going to be seeing a reactor as well as a starport come out, so double medevac is what we're probably going to be seeing from ProdiGY early on, unless he happens to drop a scan and checks out that robotics bay, which will tell him that Colossus are coming. We'll probably see those double medevacs first and foremost. We'll have to see if he gets that scan. Scanning over here though, I think he was actually able to take out that probe. Yes, he was. So very nice eye there by ProdiGY, able to spot the probe, drop the scan, and take it out without issue. We'll be coming out with a turret over here to prevent any future observer scouts from checking the front of that natural expansion. And actually, probably not going to be seeing, might be seeing an observer after this Colossus comes out, but he probably instead wants to come out with a second Colossus. So dropping that observer is actually pretty huge. You know, a lot of times your Protoss opponent is only going to have 1 robotics facility at this stage in the game, and especially if they're trying to come out with a Colossus, if you kill that, look at that. So there's another Colossus coming out, so that is going to mean that Elfi will have no observer scouting going on at all anytime soon. Factory scout moving across the map here for ProdiGY. That does get spotted by the probe at the Atzel Naga Tower over here. Not that that's a huge deal, but he may want to take that out in the center of the map. Now we got a force moving across the map, and again, something else that Elfi is going to see. Hopefully he pulls back with that probe in time, and yes, he will. ProdiGY making his move right now. He's got Stimpack in play. Level 1 weapon upgrade also coming through. Does not have combat shield or concussive shell. Double medevac coming on out as well. He's already got 2 of those in play. It's got the map control with vision from both these Marines. The medevacs are going to be joining the main force here, and here comes a push. He is ready to engage. Scanning the high ground, he spots a Colossus, so now he knows what's coming. After these 2 medevacs, expect to see a couple of Vikings queued up here. Should probably make that transition, I have to assume. Yeah, there it is. Going to be getting some Vikings. He really does want to do that. Now, we could drop in the main and bypass that frontal choke point, which wouldn't be a bad idea, but Elfi is going to respond by moving down with a few Colossus, and ProdiGY just decides, you know what, forget about it. I'm going to pull back for now. We'll force an engagement later on, but right now is just not the time. Patrolling Marine right over here, looking for any possible hidden expansions from Elfi, but he's probably also checking to see if we do see a push from Elfi. He may very well try to pull over with a probe and drop a pylon somewhere over here. You see that a lot, also over here. The other thing too is this can also spot for any warp prism attempted harass that may be coming. So getting another observer after that second Colossus comes out, and he will be spotting the army. That will be his only observer, as he's not coming out with another one. Yes, he has just got the one. We've got Storm Research, so with a transition right now, is going to be going into High Templar tech, also Charge Zealots. It could be an issue for ProdiGY, as he is nowhere near having Ghost right now. He does not have a Ghost Academy in play. And Ghosts are what you're going to need against those High Templars. He's continuing to go out Vikings to deal with those Colossus that we saw. He's got 4 Vikings in play already. He's coming out with 2 more. And if he doesn't do another check sometime soon, this could be a problem, because he does not know about that transition right now into these High Templar coming very, very soon. Charge, Zealot, Storm, Archon, all very, very strong. Something to be a little worried about. Elfi coming out right now with a 3rd. We do have a 3rd over here in Saturated for ProdiGY. Taking a quick look at the income. ProdiGY should have that slight advantage. He's already got that 3rd base up and running right now. Take a quick look at the workers. 62 to 56. So yes, ProdiGY does have more workers, does have an income advantage right now, even if it's just slight. And it's going to be a little while until Elfi actually gets to mining that 3rd. So here come those High Templar, and this factory may actually scout that as he gets a little bit closer. Either way, he'll be spotting those High Templar as they attempt to move to the center of the map, if they do decide to do so. Elfi may just chill out here for now, trying to defend this third position. Now we got a drop coming over here in back of the main base. At the same time, there will be a push moving in this direction. He's got those Vikings leading the way as well. That's going to help him a lot to take out this Colossus. Not going to help him too much against those High Templar, though. Drop finally coming, avoids the cannon right behind the resource line, and here we go. Time for an engagement. Factory scouting the main army. He wants to see where they are before he decides to engage. Let's see how effective this drop is going to be. Very effective unless unless Elfi does something about it. Trying to push forward right now. He realizes that those High Templar are in play and they need to be very, very careful. Pulling back, still nowhere near. Ghost coming in play. Drop still in the main, doing a lot of damage. Elfi, oh no, he's going to be losing that Cybernex core. That is huge. Engagement in the center of the map. Huge storm takes out most of the bio. There's still a lot though, and the Marauders very resilient against that side storm. All the Colossus are gone. A few more gateway units. Zealot's going to be chasing the army back over here. The drop in the main still doing a lot of damage. A couple charged Zealots moving forward, swooping up that bio. And they're going to be forced back right now. They're going to be actually taking out the Zealots without issue. Very nice, preventing the surround from those charged Zealots. That was excellent positioning there by ProdiGY, and the drop in the main is still doing damage. Elfi, his decision to engage in the center of the map may prove to be a very costly mistake, as he's still got bio in his main doing a lot of damage, stimming up and still taking out those Zealots. Forced to lift off though as he spots the Archon coming forward, and a lot of his units were really low. The Archon does do splash damage. Very effective engagement there for ProdiGY. However, you can see Elfi is behind. Elfi losing that Cybernex core is pretty devastating. I don't know if he's rebuilt another one. He is not. Oh boy. He can only make Zealots and High Templar right now, and neither of those things are bad. He could go Zealot, High Templar, and Colossus and be content with that, and in fact, I think he may very well just do that right now. Finally have a Ghost Academy coming out for ProdiGY right over there, so we will be making that transition into Ghost to help against a High Templar. I have to say though, right now ProdiGY is feeling ahead after that engagement. Still though, you never know. I mean, next fight could be costly, but I'm a little concerned. Yeah, look at this. ProdiGY, huge advantage right now in terms of army size, almost double what Elfi has. That is not good at all. ProdiGY coming out with another drop. Elfi deciding to move across the map. He's hungry for some blood here. He wants to do a little bit of damage, but he's going to get hit again in the back of the main, and this should do a lot of damage. 2 medevacs full of units, while no problem taking out those few units over there. Elfi moving across the map now with his Archons, High Templar, 1 Colossus. Here comes that other drop. In the main, get ready to see this force push out. There we go, ProdiGY moving out at the same time as his drop. Dropping a pylon, going to be taking out that warp gate as well. Oh man, and back of the main doing so much damage. A few charged Zealots moving down with those probes. Big storm on the bio, not paying attention. ProdiGY ends up losing a lot of units because of that. He was looking elsewhere, I have to assume. Obviously, he's got a lot going on. Expansion 4th coming out over here. Nice saturation at that main. That has not got harassed at all. Elfi hasn't managed to do too much damage to ProdiGY this game, and that's going to be the major concern. ProdiGY now dropping back in the main. He's taking out that pylon, moving across the center of the map with his forces. Scanning, spotting Elfi's positioning over here. And here it comes. Big storm's going out, but there's a lot of bio pulling back. Very nice micro there from ProdiGY, staying away from a lot of the storms. Takes out all those gateway units. Only a few High Templar left, a couple charged Zealots, but not nearly enough. ProdiGY completely overwhelming Elfi there in the center of the map, and it's just a matter of time. He's going to be taking out this third right now without any response at all. Elfi just does not have the army size to deal with this, and there is the G. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that was game number 1 here between Elfi and ProdiGY. We will be moving on to game 2 in just a moment. We saw ProdiGY with a very effective drop in back of the main of Elfi. I have to say I'm quite impressed and very sad with the decision making there by Elfi. He decided to try to push across the center instead of defending his main, and I think that really set him back. Losing that Cybernex core was pretty huge. Again, that was game 1. Moving on to game 2 in just a moment. If you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.